Right, good morning, welcome back. Now today on the Heritage Softail, a simple upgrade, a brand new battery. Now you'll already be asking yourself, how is a new battery an upgrade? Well, it depends entirely on the battery in question that you're replacing it with. And this particular battery is most definitely an upgrade. Now if you follow this channel, you'll already know what this is. It's a Motobatt Black. Now they normally come with a yellow case, that's why the black ones are called Motobatt Black, and they're done for Harleys because some Harleys have an exposed battery and they want a black casing. Otherwise they're the same as the yellow ones. Now these are a direct replacement for your factory battery. Same ampage, same dimensions exactly, but in many other ways they're superior to the factory battery. So first of all we'll cover what makes them superior and how they differ. Well, now as this is not Revzilla, I'm not going to do a long review of this battery. I'm just going to, like I said, cover what's different and what's better about it. First of all, when you get it out of the box, you'll notice straight away what's different. It has 4 terminals on the top, 2 positive, 2 negative, and I'll cover the benefits of having that when we get it on the bike. Right, now the other thing that's immediately different with these batteries is they're not a lead acid construction. It's a thing called glass mat technology. So there's still lead plates in there. It's still heavy like a lead battery, but there's no liquid acid. Now I'll leave you to look up AGM technology if you wish on the internet. It's not very interesting, but if you want to get into it, you'll understand fully what a glass mat battery actually is. And you'll see when you read it that it cannot be spilt because there's nothing in there to spill. It's completely sealed. And the best part of all, especially as it's going on a Harley, is they're vibration proof as well. So after the 2 obvious differences of the 4 terminals and the glass mat construction, what's better about them? Well, the big bumper bonus right away is that they're super heavy duty. And I'm talking about the cold cranking amps, which is a really big issue with a big heavy V-twin. These things have 320 cold cranking amps as standard. If you get yourself a regular battery for that, it is recommended a 270 cold cranking amps. And if you go for the Yuasa heavy duty, that's the YTX20 HL, then you'll get 310 cold cranking amps, and this is 320, and that's a standard setup. They don't do one any lower, and that costs the same money to buy as the basic Yuasa battery, so it's good value as well. Now we all know, I think, that Yuasa is probably the market leading brand of battery. Is it the best out there? Don't know, possibly. It could be. I haven't tested them back to back. However, if you consider that that brand is better than this and you'll trust it because of its marketing success, then go ahead and do that. I trust these purely because I've fitted them on bikes since 2013. The first one I ever fitted was on Penny's Triumph, and to my knowledge, it is still working perfectly on that bike today, all these years later. So I'm very happy to have one of these instead of the market leading brand, especially given the benefits we just spoke about. Anyway, that's enough about the battery. Let's get it fitted on the bike, and hopefully I can cover a few tips that might help you out if you're changing your battery. Let's see off. Now, when you've got a motorcycle with no alarm, you just disconnect the battery in the normal way. Negative first, then positive, then lift the battery out and drop the new one in. But if you've got an alarm system on your bike and you just disconnect the battery, this can happen. So there, as you can see, is the way that the alarm system is set up. It has its own internal power supply, and if you disconnect the battery, it senses the voltage drop and triggers the alarm, and it will keep going off all the time it's disconnected. So we need a way to effectively deactivate the alarm system. Now on some Harley-Davidson models, putting them into service mode will deactivate the alarm, but you might not know how to do that. You might not have your manual handy on how to follow and do that, and you probably won't remember how to do it. But this little hack that I'll show you now, it's really simple and straightforward. It's quite safe and it works every time to deactivate the alarm. The first thing, before you do anything else, is locate the fuse box, and in the case of this 2008 Softail, it is right next to the battery. Take the lid off it altogether. Lift it up out the way. Now what we're looking for is the bike's main fuse, and it's not in there. All we've got is 9 15 amp fuses for all the bike's bits and pieces, the horn, the ignition, the lights, etc. A starter relay, a system relay. It isn't in here because being such an important fuse, it's safely hidden in here, inside the lid. You see there's a wire connected to it. If you pinch these 2 clips either side and pull the two gently apart. It's a big rubber seal that will make it quite stiff. And there it is, one main fuse, 40 amp. So with the fuse now located, you need your alarm fob nearby, as if you're going to start the bike. Turn the ignition on. And now, just pull the main fuse clean out. There you go. Now, I referred to this as a hack, but it's actually a prescribed method in some Harley manuals, so it's a proper way to do it. And it works because when you turn on your ignition with your fob in place, it deactivates the alarm. That's how the system's designed to work. Then with the alarm deactivated, because we're ready to go for a ride, we power it down. And by pulling out the fuse, power everything down, the alarm system was powered down whilst deactivated. So it can't sense the voltage drop now and set itself off, which means I can now change my battery, make a new installation of the new one, tidy everything up, pop the fuse back in, the ignition will light back up again, and the alarm system will never know what happened to it. Real easy. Now these Motobatt black batteries are Harley-Davidson specific, as denoted by the HD at the end of their code number. And that means that the terminals on the top, I know we've got 4 instead of 2, but the terminals on them are the same as a genuine Harley-Davidson factory battery, and that means they don't have those fiddly little nuts that fall out and get lost down the back of the engine. They are threaded straight into the terminals. Not only that, they're threaded in the top, and there's an offset thread at the side. So if you want to fit accessories to your battery, you don't have to stack the terminals, you can connect them on the side of the connector block instead of on the top. Sensible thinking and an obvious direct replacement. Right, now on the previous battery, on top of the main terminals, we also had the charging pigtail and that USB port on the bars all stacked up together. Now that reduces the amount of the screw that's going down into the battery to connect it, and with less thread down into the battery, it's more liable to shake loose, especially on a bike that vibrates, and you do have to check them. So too many tabs is a bad thing, but with the Motobatt, with those 4 terminals, I can have my main connections to the bike on their own, with a maximum amount of screw thread down into the battery, holding them nice and firmly for good. And I can just put all my accessories on the other 2 terminals. How common sense is that? Right, now with the 2 main terminals connected to the 2 main posts on the battery with nothing on top of them, I've got all the accessories installed on the spare posts, and I may change those in the future, but the 2 main terminals will never be disturbed again. So now all that's left to do is pop your main fuse back into its holder, all your ignition will light back up again, and you just turn the ignition off like nothing ever happened. there we are. Thank you for watching, and thank you for your patience. You don't need a lesson in how to fit a battery, disconnect it, drop a new one in, and reconnect it up. Anybody can do that, but if you have got an alarm system that is automatically set and cannot be deactivated with a button, then that little trick with the main fuse works every time. It certainly works on every Harley Davidson that I've ever had, and I believe it works on many other bikes besides. Anyway, thanks for watching. Take it easy, ride safe, and I'll see you next time.